Listener discretion is advised.
What did that guy say?
I don't know. That music was ripping, though. The phone number for Loveline is 1-800-LOVE-191. That's 1-800-LOVE-191. And now, here's Loveline with your hosts, Adam Carolla and Dr. Drew.
Hey there, kiddies. It is Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Fax number 310-854-4455. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician and addiction medicine specialist. Drew?
And for the grace of God, I'm on vacation.
Yes. Tanning that bronze body of yours poolside.
No, we're in Wyoming.
Oh, we are?
Well, I am in a horse ranch with my kids and having a wonderful time.
I bet Cookie gets you from behind. First up on the Best of Loveline tonight is adult film star, philanthropist, and fur-covered mammal, Ron Jeremy. Ron, I have been admiring your work for many a year. And it seems to me that you've been in the business somewhere between 15 and 20 years, but you can tell me.
Well, when I started making films, I think Serenity was sperm. Let's put it that way. About 20 years.
By the way, there's a little sperm on your lip there, Serenity. Speaking of
Don't
sperm.
look at me. About 20 years.
About 20 years. And how many films have you made in that 20 years?
Me and a guy named Tom Byron both pretty much have the record, about 1,500.
Tom Byron started a little bit later than you, didn't he?
Yes. I was actually doing some other stuff, too, a few rock and roll videos here and there.
Right.
Produced Sublime's video. And then, which was very big on K-Rock, by the way. And then I did some regular stuff and did stuff in New York.
Right.
He worked a lot. He worked hot and heavy. So both of us are about 1,500. No one knows who has more. He'll say him, I'll say me. The historians are divided, you know.
Yeah. There's a lot of gray, bearded gents sitting in smoking rooms and in monogram jackets debating this topic
You are
in a heated fashion.
You're one of the historians, aren't you?
I like to think of myself as a porn purist. I remember Ron's work from Taboo 2. I mean, that had to be one of his earlier tricks. And then lately, my Ron Jeremy story is we had, let's see, what's his name in here? Larry Flint. And Larry Flint got me a subscription to Busty. And I was looking through this Busty about 6 months ago, and I found this great movie with Ron and Minka, the great Asian woman with the large breasts, and Kayla Cleavage. Right. So I'm thumbing through this, and it's called, I can't say the full title, but it's called Spank Me, F Me. This is, and now, listen, just a quick word to the,
you still respect me?
To the porn folks. Don't put the F word in the title. It makes it embarrassing.
I did it.
I know, but Ron, please, these people should know this by now, because they're semi-respectable people who want to go out there, they want to get the video, they want to get out of the store, and they don't want to draw a lot of attention, and they don't want to have to say to some 17-year-old kid behind the counter with a name tag, hey, spank me, F me. Could you get on the intercom and see if you can drum that one up?
A lot of films use names of regular features changed around a little bit. Like I did a film called E3, The Extra Testicle. There, you know, they have a Beverly Hills Copulator. They make films of that name.
I saw you in the Addams Family one, but I can't remember what the hell they changed the name of that one.
Addams Family. There were two of them.
Genius, those porn people.
Yeah, oh, man, you're starting, huh?
Well, anyway, I want you to get me a Spank Me, F Me. I called...
in real life or the movie?
Either one.
Okay.
I would probably like the movie. That way I could relive it down the road.
Your plans are canceled tonight then. Okay.
I called a video store and I said, pardon me, do you have an adult film title called Spank Me, F Me?
I said, Adam?
And
is that you?
No, they went, huh? And I went, it's called Spank Me, F Me. And they went, what? And then I said, Spank Me. I said the word at the end, and the guy hung up on me. The whole thing about the porn industry is, as I was telling Drew before the show about some dealings I'm going through with ABC, is the mainstream does not want to acknowledge it exists, or they pretend as if it doesn't exist. But meanwhile, everyone goes home and watches an adult film. You go into one of these hotels, mainstream hotels, they have adult programming on the television, albeit edited adult programming, but it's out there, and the public wants it, and people sort of pretend like they don't want it or it doesn't exist.
Coming out of the closet a little bit.
Yeah.
She's right. When Serenity said sweeps week, when certain shows like those scandalous shows, right? They want to have like their highest ratings. They use adult stars. Also, since the films that have come out recently, the Flint movie, the Boogie Nights film, and the Stern film, it's now making adult material more popular and more acceptable, and you could admit it quickly.
All right. Well, all the people that have just climbed on board recently, posers. I've been involved with this for many years.
How do European countries deal with it? It seems like they're a little more
nastier.
But I mean, how does the society view it? Is it accepted, embraced?
In some countries, yeah.
In Europe now, it's accepted very much. I mean, they run adult features on TV late at night. Regular TV.
We gotta move.
They advertise them on billboards.
They could show naked breasts on most TV shows in most of Europe.
Yeah.
And I'll bet you statistically rape is lower per capita.
In places where prostitution is legal, that's correct.
So Serenity, how long you been in the business?
5.5 years now.
Yeah. How many movies you made in that 5.5 years?
Just over 50.
And what is it? Do guys make more than women, or do women make more than guys? And I know it varies, but two people that
doesn't vary. Girls always make way more than men.
No, they make more money, but
more money.
But do they make more pictures in the court? In like one average year, does Ron Jeremy make more than Serenity?
I think it depends on the individual talent.
Well, it depends if Serenity is privileged to be a contract girl for a company called Wicked Pictures.
Right.
And the contract girls will make a flat salary for so many movies, they do maybe per month.
Is it the same as the old studios? I mean, the Hollywood studios?
It's kind of like it. And the girls are making salaries that are actually very, very good. They can make a really good living. Then they go on the road.
I know.
Whereas the men make a contract girl can make anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 to $10,000 for a movie, depending what company. A man can make $200 to $300 to $400 for that same movie.
Right. Well, here let me read between the lines there. It's, you're getting $200 and you're getting laid and you get a sandwich. So relax there, big guy.
No, I got the sandwich.
And Ron,
and the feminists complain that the women are exploited, and I tell the feminists, hey, check out the bookkeeping.
Yeah. And Ron, what was like your busiest month or couple month period? I mean, how many movies would you make? I haven't done the math on how many years you've been in and how many you've made, but how many is that a year, basically?
My leans here, when I 10 years working out in the gym, and then my last 8 years working out in the buffet. My earlier films was when I was more popular. I did a lot more work in the late 70s, 80s, early 90s.
I saw some of those films, though. You were never...
I was thin in some of them.
You're never scrawny.
Well,
that's all right.
It was kind of close in my first beginning.
I was saying to Dr. Drew the other night over the air, and I'm not ashamed to repeat this in front of you because I think you'll appreciate this in the spirit it was intended. I said there are many examples we use for achievement in this society. People have overcome obstacles and adversity, like the guy who plays the guitar with his feet for the Pope.
Oh, I feel
people look at that, but I think people should look at Ron Jeremy.
If he can have this kind of fun, there's hope for all of us. Which is exactly what they do say, by the way.
The most prolific man in pornography. He's not tall in stature. He's got a gut on him. He's got some hair on his back.
You got to keep in mind, though, that I was in Playgirl magazine 4 times in the 80s.
Really?
And now I get offers from Field and Stream. No, but I really was in Playgirl 4 times. And I was Larry Flint.
Hold the salmon in your mouth.
I was actually one of the first male centerfolds in Hustler.
Really?
Way back in 1983. It was me and a girl in the centerfold. I was totally thin.
Well, Ron, whatever else is going on, the penis has not changed.
That stays the same.
It is like the violinist may get older, but the Stradivarius stays the same.
I love this guy's attitude. I think we're bonding right now.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I enjoy a nice-sized penis in my pornography, and I don't know how people are going to take that. I really don't. But to me, it's an important part of the pornographical experience. I don't want to see some guy with a penis the size of a little pinky in there. I like something, seeing there's something to work with there.
That's your surrogate.
Right. Yes, that's my penis. Absolutely.
That's
I want him to have a big one.
In fact, it was funny because when I was on Beavis and Butthead, did I just make another plug? They actually said that when one says to the other, you're looking at Ron Jeremy's wiener, and the other one goes, I'm looking around his wiener.
Right.
So we're famous for what's on the other side of the penis, not on our side of it.
And Ron is a husky man. That penis of his on a svelte man would even look that much bigger. So it's all relative. And yes, Ron, I've used your penis many a time. And I still want to I don't know. Do you have all these movies at home, Ron?
No.
There's no way.
I have some. I have the ones I had. I enjoyed the roles I played. Did some crazy characterizations.
Oh,
Films
yeah.
had some great storylines.
Hey,
in the old days.
the work he did in Madam's Family was he played a blind man.
Yeah, and I also
That was stellar work.
some of the films have had some fun. The one I recently did for VCA was called No Way for Hookers 5.
Oh.
And I played a pimp black guy. I had to go hour and a half into makeup. They put on prosthetics. So it was kind of a fun role.
Yeah, folks' sensibilities aren't offended quite as easily in the porn industry. You can go ahead and put on a little blackface and afro wig and have a good time, and no one's going to write a letter. No one even has a sound up. Who they know to complain to? All right, we'll take some calls, and Ron, I really need to get Spank Me F Me at some point. I need some connection. I need a phone number.
I'm going to get it to you, because Kayla Cleavage produced that, and she'll be glad to get you
She's a fabulous actress, this woman. Brian.
Yes.
You're 21.
Yes.
You a fan of Kayla Cleavage's work, Drew?
Can't say that I'm...
Oh, okay. You're more of a Minka fan?
Yeah.
I understand. Oh, this
Addle.
Minka. Brian?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I just turned 21, actually, like a couple months ago, and I met this girl on the night of my birthday. We were going out for about 2 months now, and she just tells me that she's 17, and I assumed that she was older because she looked it, and, well, we had sex and everything like that, and she just told me she thinks she might be pregnant, and I really don't know what to do. I'm like, I can't sleep. It's literally on my mind. I mean,
How long ago was this, Brian?
I'd say maybe about a month and a half, 2 months.
The intercourse was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And you found out about it?
Like a week ago.
And how is it that she has doubts about this?
She is, just because I don't know, she said she's been feeling like really,
Did she get a pregnancy test?
no.
Okay. Well, why don't we just start there, Brian?
Okay.
Right, you didn't ask her to get a pregnancy
No,
test?
I told her to, and I picked one up for her.
Do you still have a relationship with her?
I'm still seeing her.
Okay.
Because I don't want to like ditch her. I mean, if it is, I did the crime. I should be there to help her. It's just
That's good. You look at child rearing as some probation that's been mandated by the state.
I think in his mind, he's thinking, I'll be there for her through the abortion.
Ah, Brian?
Yes.
That's what you're thinking?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that what she's thinking?
Yeah, that's what she said she wants.
That she wants to do an abortion?
Yeah.
And how would you guys arrange that?
Well, so far I'm the only one who's been doing anything.
What'd you do?
I went to a clinic that is around here, and I just talked to a nurse and everything.
And why didn't she go with you?
I think because of her age.
What do you mean?
Because...
Oh, you're afraid you're going to be...
I see. They're going to say, how old are you? They're going to say, how old are you? And then someone's going to arrest you?
Yeah, and she's afraid because, like, I don't even know her parents, and, like, that's the whole thing. I don't want to be in trouble and everything.
All right, but she wants to get an abortion.
Yeah, but I don't really think she can. With her parents...
Oh, no, she can. Most states. What state are you in?
Illinois.
State of despair.
Chicago, I'm right.
I don't... Most states, you only have to be 14.
Really?
Yeah.
Parent consent?
Absolutely. Did you talk to the nurse about that?
No, I didn't. I didn't even tell her how old she was.
Yeah. I think...
Brian, go home, get on the phone, call like Planned Parenthood and ask them, because I know Brian's a little skittish because he figures he's going to do time. And yes, Ron.
You know what might cheer him up if he goes to the Erotica LA on Friday night,
Ron.
Sorry.
The guy's calling from Wisconsin or something, isn't he?
But look, the kid sounds like a good guy.
Hey, you guys got to plug his work here. That's all right.
In reality, you kind of... If I were a parent, I would want to know about this. If I were the parent of the daughter, of the girl, he has done something that could get him in a lot of trouble if the parents want to push it.
Yeah.
Try to stay focused on what's good for the girl. She ultimately is going to make the decision about
give
this.
him the phone number, would you, Drew?
Well, I've
got porn stars in here.
Actually, it's a serious issue.
Well, it is, but just give him a phone number, he'll call, and then we'll move on with the hijinks. That's all.
National Planned Parenthood line is 1-800-230-PLAN. 1-800-230-PLAN. You can discuss these specific issues with
all
him.
right. But Ron, this brings me on to something else.
Brian should be commended for hanging in with his girlfriend.
Well, he's going to drag her to the clinic, get an abortion, and get her some, like, froyo, and called a relationship. But he's worried. God bless him. He should have put the condom on the first time, but this will all be a distant memory soon. Fine. Ron, what about this Tracy Lords thing? I know you've probably had this thing brought up 1,000 times, but this is the first time I met you.
Why, is she pregnant?
She is, just the whole underage thing is what reminded me of it. And I know you were involved in some of the movies that she was in, right?
Yeah, I directed her and acted with her.
And did you get busted for that?
No. No, the law enforcement was very smart. They picked a film with the title, Those Young Girls. Because they were trying to make a joke with the title. In fact, it was regular filmmakers that they busted, including a son of a celebrity.
What do you mean regular filmmakers that they busted?
The guys who did a TV series, a mainstream TV series. They did 1 or 2 adult videos their entire life. One happened to be one that she was in. And they got hit for it. Now, the thing is, they won. The cases were thrown out because, she had all fake ID. She even had a fake passport. The U.S. government gave her a fake passport. So they figured, how can we be any smarter than the government?
Right.
She fooled everybody.
Yeah, you guys are like someone who runs a liquor store. Somebody comes in, buys a six-pack, shows you a legitimate ID, and you sell them the six-pack.
The thing
is that right?
Yeah, exactly. And I respect that she's made some good headway in regular films now. But the things you have to keep in mind, Nick, she still makes occasional insults at the adult film business while she keeps the same name. Like
occasionally.
If you hate porno so much, why are you still calling yourself Tracy Lords?
Well, she got into it.
Scandal helped.
She got into it when she was what, 14, 15?
No, 16 supposedly.
16.
She did that big centerfold in Penthouse, which had the Miss America in it, which made her very famous.
You talking about?
Oh God, She's New. George Burns on the cover.
Vanessa
Williams. She was in that issue, and she was the centerfold. That really helped jet propel her to being a very well-known, porn superstar.
But she got in at 16, made a handful of movies, and then got busted at what age? Was she overage when she got busted?
She was over 18 when she found out when the word came out. I'm not sure exactly how it happened either. That she mentioned it herself, but it was discovered that all her films had to be taken off the shelf, except one that she had the rights to. Now, if she really hated the business that much, I believe she had something to do with that last film that's now legal being out there.
But all the ones before her 18th birthday had to be taken off
the shelves.
But if she made a few after her 18th birthday, she made the one after
and she supposedly has the rights to that one and sold it to Caballero. So if she really hated the business so much, why'd she do that? And secondly, again, I'm not trying to knock her, but, she kept the same name. You keep insulting the business, but you take advantage of the scandal.
I met her a couple times. She's been on this show before, and I'm not so sure she hates the industry or people in it, but she's
mellowed recently.
But she had a lot of, she talked about this on the radio program, so I'm not divulging any information. She had a lot of therapy, and she was looking back on what the industry preyed upon in her, and how it supported some real unhealthy parts of her, and she's resentful of that. Now, she made the choices.
That wouldn't bother me
let's not turn this into
she made a killing.
The McLaughlin report here, Drew, for a second.
And she knows that without porn, what would she be doing today?
What would I be doing without porn? That's an important question.
She'd be a very attractive cashier. I don't know. I mean, she'd be going to acting school, I guess.
Hey, Ron, is your name, is that your real name, or did you...
middle name.
Oh, I see. Jeremy's your... okay, because some of these names just dawn on me years after I've heard of them. Like I was just telling Drew about FM Bradley, and then I started thinking about Field Marshal Bradley, who's the same guy, and then I thought, this guy was a general in World War II, right? I mean, the Bradley fighting vehicle is named after Field Marshal Bradley.
Yes.
Don't ask me why some 9-foot black guy in 1978 picked up Field Marshal Bradley. Bradley was English, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know what made you pick Serenity.
Montgomery. He must have been watching.
Name that was given to me.
That's a nice name for her, Serenity.
Yeah.
Because she's very relaxing and she's very mellow.
Right.
It's a nice name.
You can become one with me.
Yeah.
In my dreams, I would.
Kim.
Hi.
You're 22.
22, yeah. This question's actually for Dr. Drew.
Yeah, Kim.
I grew up with a mother who had multiple personality disorder, and recently I'm afraid that I'm seeing disassociative behavior in my daughter. Is that possible? I know that the actual divisions aren't possible, but I'm wondering if the tendencies can be passed, skip my generation and end up...
How old's your daughter?
She's 4.
You're asking kind of a complex question on one level. Another level, it's not so complex. Listen, an undeveloped, a child at that stage of development is basically sort of psychotic.
Well, you
that's
have,
what children are.
yeah, you have make-believe friends.
Yeah, they see things.
You have that at 22 and someone drags you into the hospital.
Exactly. So you're seeing very, very sort of reminiscent symptoms that are normal developmental expressions that are for a 4-year-old that freak you out because they were so traumatic when you saw them growing up when your mom was doing it.
Things like when confronted with like the loss of a pet or a friend, or recently a neighbor became very sick and had to be taken out by an ambulance, she'll take them in and she'll look upset for all of 30 seconds, shrug them off, and it won't be talked about again. And I would just think I was blessed with the most well-developed child in the world, but she doesn't sleep well on the other end.
Well, you're panicking about what might happen to your child because you lived around mental illness your whole life. She needs to be given an opportunity to express her feelings, but one of the things you need to avoid doing is intruding upon her.
And listen, don't bother dragging her to the shrink, because he'll give her a lump of clay and charge you $80.
Well,
and
that's
she'll
the
sit
point.
there, make a snowman out of clay, you'll get $80,
That's
and
right.
That's it.
Kids don't tell you, they can't articulate their feelings. They may draw pictures, they may act it out in play. So you need to give her other opportunities to sort of work through these feelings. Then, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? What are you feeling? I noticed you didn't feel anything. They will pull back even further if you come onto a child like that. So it's got to be. You just have to be available, but not intruding. So intrusion is a form of abuse, and it's a common one in our society.
I'll tell you something right now. You could take my dog and put it in between 4 or 5 other dogs, I probably wouldn't recognize it. You think Ron Jeremy's penis, stick it through a hole in a piece of plywood with 150 other penises, I walk right over and put the Ron Jeremy sticker on it. I know Ron Jeremy's penis that well.
This is seriously male bonding at its best.
You have a Ron sort of section in your bunker, don't you?
I feel bad. I've never seen Adam's penis. I feel terrible.
Can we do it?
But you finished the song.
Yep.
And finish the joint.
And you finished the joint.
Yeah.
And did anybody get PO'd?
No.
You didn't get any trouble? No one hassled you or anything like that?
They were all acting nice to us, but we could tell that they were pretty upset at us.
And that was your last appearance on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. Lauren Michaels was a little, bothered by it, but, I think he got over it.
But look at it this way. We're talking about it now 3.5 years later.
Now, check this out. Okay, when we were doing it, the guy that was directing traffic, I like to call it.
Like the stage manager?
Yeah. No. Then after, when we got to the party, after the show and after, they had a little hall for all the guests and everything.
Right.
Having drinks and everything. And he's like, hey, so how about some of that good stuff, man?
What you do with the roach, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
You see what a hypocritical society we live in, Drew? Drew's the same way. He's here talking about how bad heroin is, and then he's got his rig out every commercial. Just chasing the dragon. Oh, yes. Do as he says, not as he does, ladies and gentlemen. Janet, 16, you're on Loveline.
Yeah, I have, 2 questions, and one's not so serious, and the other one really is, but I'll ask you the one that's not so serious first. Okay, my friend Jennifer, she has, this really bad rash she gets between her legs, and I mean, it's not on her private part, it's, on her inner thigh, and she doesn't know where it comes from, but she gets it for, 2 weeks, and then it goes away, and then, a month later, it comes back.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it comes from her boyfriend's rash.
No, it's usually that sort of thing. Usually either fungus or allergy.
Whoa. Oh, it's like red and itchy.
Right. It's either
really,
fungus
really
or allergy.
dry.
Have her just try some over-the-counter medication first, like Lotrimin and Cortaid.
Is that like a heat rash or something?
It's either allergy
That's a deep rash.
or fungus. You heard of it's like jock itch for guys.
Oh, really?
Same idea. Or an allergic reaction.
Oh, she's gonna love this. And then the second question is, about a week and a half ago, we had a barbecue at my house, and my neighbor Aaron, we're really, really close, so we invited him over, and he was helping. Oh, and by the way, he has AIDS, and when he was helping us cut up some onions for the hamburgers, and he cut himself really, really bad, and I just had a paper towel in my hand, and I went to help him. I forgot that he had AIDS, and I went to help him, and some of the blood dripped on my arm. Because he cut himself really, really bad. And some of the blood dripped on my arm, and it got on this scab that I had on my arm. And I was wondering, should I go to the doctor? Or because I'm really, really scared about that.
I mean, that's essentially impossible. That
Really?
HIV would be transmitted that way. Yeah.
What? Why?
Because, like, couldn't it go through your pores or something?
No, I mean, there are occasional reports of cases of people being exposed to large amounts of blood. I mean, like large amounts where dialysis tubing breaks and blood goes everywhere, and it's not entirely clear how it gets through. But a drop here or there is highly unlikely.
It wasn't a drop. It was like.
However,
wait a minute. How old is this guy, Janet?
He's 19.
How did he get AIDS?
It was. He used to shoot up when he was younger.
Okay. However, there is some evidence that early treatment with antiviral drugs, or a question of even when there's a question of exposure, there's some times when doctors will advocate the use of antiviral medication early on. So be that as it may, just to be 100% sure, it would probably be worth your while to consult with an infectious disease person.
Well, wait a minute.
Sure.
Should she go get tested now?
Well, yeah, look, I don't want to sound a 3-alarm fire, because the probability is it's nothing.
Yeah, but Drew, some guy goes out and gets laid without a condom. You tell him to go get tested. She had blood spurted on her from a guy who was HIV positive. Don't you think that's grounds for testing?
It's grounds for testing, but it takes 6 months to convert. I mean, it's going to test to prove that she's negative now.
Yeah, and
right?
then I might go back, and it might say I have it. So should I go back later, or should I go now?
Go now, because sometimes they'll elect to treat with antiviral drugs because that decreases risk
before
of
they even know whether she has it or not.
Right. If there is determined to be a significant risk of exposure, there are things that can be done to decrease the risk that thing.
But she should get the test too, right?
Okay, they will do the test as part of the workup just to prove that she's negative now.
And then if it's negative, should I go back a little?
Yeah, there'll be a whole thing you'll go through if they decide to go ahead with it. But just relax. I mean, the probability is that this is not a big deal. That's the probability.
The great probability.
The overwhelming probability. Okay, but still, you want to take every possible precaution that's
probability.
available. Okay.
All right, Janet.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Oh, Jesus, how could you sleep?
No, look, because you're in a panic. You guys are all freaking out about it. This is a difficult disease to contract, okay?
Wait a minute, I don't think anyone's free.
Well, you say,
These guys are falling asleep.
You're in a panic. Oh, my God. I go, this is not how HIV is transmitted. How many cases out there do you hear about people getting through blood being splattered or splashed? So it just doesn't happen.
All right, but I'm just saying, if you're 16, you have a scab on your arm, the guy who's positive who lives next door and he spurts blood on you, I could see you freaking out. I get a zit on my forehead when I was 16.
Now, Adam,
I was ready to drop out of school.
I'm really surprised you. Usually when I tell people stuff that's honest and accurate, you accuse me of getting people excited. Now I'm trying to get somebody calmed down, and you're getting them excited.
I sensed a strong BS factor there. That was all. I felt that you were trying not to worry, Janet.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, what am I? Okay. All right. Yeah, you're right, Drew. So anyway, she don't have it. Okay. All right, we'll talk during the commercial, Drew. You guys see the look he just gave me? Do you see that
he's
look?
not too happy with you right now.
What is that look, Drew?
You want to take it outside.
It's all the months of taking abuse from you for when it doesn't matter that much about how somebody feels about something. This is something that people get hysterical about.
All right.
And there's no reason for it.
All right. In the past, I've yelled at Drew for planting seeds, meaning he says, not the kind of seeds you guys plant in your hydroponic farms, but some guy says, I got a little lump on my forehead. Oh, Drew says, that could be a brain tumor.
I'll say it's nothing, but be sure you do this. Here are the possibilities. Why'd you tell him? Now, here's somebody I'm saying, look, relax, and you're trying to get it.
All right. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Into a frenzy.
Relax over there. Scott, 27, you're on Loveline with Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill.
Hey, what's up?
Stick green bong loads in your honor as soon as I hang up the phone.
That's right.
Adam.
Handle it.
Yes.
How's it going? Here's my problem.
Nice.
Yeah, go ahead.
My father, he's an alcoholic, and it's really creating a problem in our family.
Yeah.
And
you don't live with him, though?
No, not at the present time. I don't. Me and my sister, we were talking about it today, and we were thinking about confronting him about it. And I was just curious as to what do you guys think might be the best approach, as far as bringing this up to him without, maybe, hurting his feelings or pissing him off, or, I just want to get a little input on this.
Poor naive Scott.
Why? Because he's having a big bong load and his dad's an alcoholic?
Well, Scott's an alcoholic to begin with.
Well, my dad's alcoholism is a far greater problem than me having a bong load.
I understand, but you're an alcoholic too, and that your disease will evolve someday.
Why is he an alcoholic?
I'm a recovered alcoholic.
recovering alcoholics don't smoke pot.
Well, okay, then.
This one does.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well,
You're not in recovery. You're an alcoholic. I mean, I can just tell by the way you're thinking and the way what you're doing.
Right.
I know you're an alcoholic.
Sure.
So the only person you can really take care of is yourself.
Right.
Right. So you got to do something about your recovery, which is a mess.
Okay.
So that should be your first priority.
All right. Drew, don't go overboard with the whole serious stuff now. I know I chastised you on the last call, but now you've turned 180 degrees and you're jumping down everyone's
I'm in a
throat.
funny mood tonight.
Adam.
Wait, Scott.
Scott wants to talk to me. Where, I have a sympathetic ear.
Adam speaks English.
Yes.
All right. Here's the other thing. Then this is why I was. Adam doesn't exist tonight.
The hell kind of crap is that?
Is the
Oh, wait a minute. Drew's high horse is out of the barn and it's running free, crapping on everybody.
and the reason I said about poor naive Scott is that Scott, your dad is an alcoholic. His brain is telling him that the relationship with alcohol is the most important thing in his life. Things are falling apart for him. He's going to be very defensive. You come near confronting him with reality, and his defenses are going to go up, and he's going to attack you.
Right.
So to not want to piss him off is not realistic.
What if he brings a 40-ouncer?
And if you get through to him, of course it's going to hurt his feelings because he's going to have to feel the loss and the pain of what the consequences of his actions have been.
Right.
So no matter what, it's going to be a very unpleasant situation. And that's why people do interventions.
Okay.
Where you get together with all the important people in that person's life, you rehearse where you each present to that person exactly what the consequences of their use has been for you individually. You ambush them, present that, and then give them a packed bag and take them over to treatment.
You guys, Cypress Hill, you guys know how this intervention stuff works?
No.
It's great. Yeah, you get one guy. There are guys who just do this for a living.
Yeah,
they organize this stuff.
That's right.
And they get, let's say, they get your mom and your dad or whoever. They get all the family together except for the guy who's getting loaded all the time.
Your employer, too.
Oh, your boss and everything?
Almost, they try to get the boss always.
Oh, you know what? They ought to get, like, your gym coach from 9th grade and stuff, because that'd really scare the hell out of you. And they put them all in the room, and they pack your bag with your underwear and socks and talc and whatnot. And for me, it'd have to be a couple of porn magazines, too, if I was going anywhere too long. And they get the hospital ready, they get the car ready, they get everything ready. You come walking home from work or from the bar or whatever, and they all just basically throw a net on you.
They legally kidnap you,
and
right?
drag your ass right to Betty Ford. But it works in extreme cases.
Works about 90-95% of the time that people get through treatment that way.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people need to, go through it like that. You know?
But Scott, you can't be planning an intervention with a bong in your hand.
And you can't just do it with you and your sister. You need to get everybody together.
Right.
If you want to just confront him with what he's doing, and this is your first sort of swipe at him, confront him. Let him know what his actions are doing to you, but don't expect much in return.
Will do.
All right, Scott.
All right.
Coming up on the Best of Loveline, Sugar Ray. Welcome back to more of the Best of Loveline. Don't bother calling in. We will not answer the phone. But even though we're on vacation and this is on tape, I guarantee it is twice as good as anything you would have heard had we been here this week. And if you don't believe me, well, our next guest is Sugar Ray. So we'll just punch up a call here and see what's going on. Marlon.
Hi.
Hey, you're 15. You're on with Sugar Ray.
Oh, hi.
What's up, dude?
Adam, I just wanted to say that you're like my hero, and I think you're a comedic genius.
Why, thank you.
So does my mom, Adam. I got to say that.
Really?
My mom, if you're listening, Mom, it's Mark, and your son. Yes, we haven't talked in a while, but Adam, yes.
She listens to the show, your mom.
She really does. She thinks you've got a real great comedic sense, and so do I.
She's a little out of the demo, but we'll take it.
Well, she's 36.
Marlon.
So?
Oh, she had you when she was... How old was she when she had you then?
That's a joke.
Oh, okay, good.
It wasn't that
I was
funny.
trying to do some math there.
Got a question there?
Yeah, my problem is that like a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I walked in on my dad masturbating, and now he won't have anything to do with me.
Right. Oh, big deal.
Wow. He won't have... He's avoiding you because he's uncomfortable, right?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Well, I'm sure that's what it is, yeah.
And what'd you do? Just walk into his room?
Well, no, it was in the front bathroom, and the lock has a tendency not to work all the time, and I just sort of walked in and, sort of said, get out of here, and I shut the door and walked off, and we haven't talked since then.
That's kind of a bummer.
And how long ago was that?
About a week and a half ago, maybe 2. I'm not too sure.
All right. He has to now catch you masturbating in order to even the score. Marlon, do you masturbate yourself?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
it could be a shared father-son experience. I don't know. I mean, I've done some weird things with my dad. Tetherball and the like.
I'd imagine, see, if I caught my dad masturbating, it would put a crimp in my masturbation for at least a week.
There'd be a weird Christmas gift next time around. There definitely would be. But that's a rough situation. I don't know how to approach that. I don't think I'm qualified to approach that.
Well, here's the deal. And you guys tell me if you agree. I don't think he's pissed off at Marlon. I think he's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just like you made him shy about it.
That is a bummer.
It's something that time will heal, I feel.
Well, I'll try talking to him, and he'll just, he'll blow me off, not even want to talk.
I don't know about that. But
Well, I mean, how sure are you that he saw that you know what he was doing? Like, what if you said to him, hey, Dad, I don't understand what's going on with you. I walked in the bathroom the other day when you were putting in your contact lens, and now you're not talking to me. Like, what if you just pretended like you didn't see it?
Third eye blind.
Well, I think he saw the shock on my face.
Well, how into it was he? I mean, that's kind of important. Maybe he's just washing.
Well, from the way it looked, he was pretty much into it.
He was cranking, right?
The sweat and the eyes closed. Hey, Marlon, look, I don't mean to laugh because it's a really disturbing situation that I'm sure I'd be bummed at too. And I don't know how you handle that, except maybe just communicate.
You got to just talk to him,
I
dude.
think you better.
I think time is the only thing that's
Dad,
gonna heal
enough.
that.
You know, I saw. You know, I do it too.
It's
You know,
like-
I take showers with the guys. Whatever, whatever you got to do. Just like
It's time to get that father-son bond going, dude. You gotta hey, Dad, I saw you. I do it all the time myself. You just gotta go there with it, dude, and he'll come around, dude. I'm telling you.
I don't know, but it is kind of weird.
That's how me and my dad got close.
Yeah, I remember that. Man. You told me about that. You guys used to paint rooms together.
Exactly.
All right, Marlon.
White.
Okay.
Marlon, it's going to be something you guys laugh about in about 70 years. All right? No, it'll be a funny story a few years from now when you get older. It's
That's weird, though. Usually, like, the kids are uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like,
it's the kid that gets caught, not the
Right.
dad. But how do you recover from that, Adam? Seriously, man. That's unreal.
I don't know how you bounce back from that sexually.
Maybe we'll ask Dr. Drew, because maybe he's got a new angle on that.
Dr. Drew, what do you think? Okay.
I think Drew's doing that right now, actually. Carl, you're 17.
Yeah, hi.
Hey.
What's up, Carl?
Yo.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
All right, I'm going to hang up on you, Carl. All right?
Okay.
All right. I like a man who knows when he's beaten. Teresa.
Hi.
Hey, you're 17. You're on with Sugar Ray.
Yeah, hi, Sugar Ray.
Hello. Teresa, you have a sexy voice.
I'm hoarse, actually. I was at my...
Oh, you're not. You're a good girl. Oh,
yeah.
My voice is totally gone, but...
Self-esteem.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
doing really
I
good.
think the music is totally great.
You're so nice.
And
you
you guys
haven't
are...
yet, I can tell.
I just want to fly. I just fly with the song. It's cool.
Me too. Just go with
I
it,
love
baby.
it.
Just let it take you to the higher plane.
Well, actually, what I was calling about is not my voice, not music, but actually yeast.
Bread. We all need bread.
Every month, sort of around my period, I get like this reoccurring yeast-like symptom. I've been to the doctor for it, and whenever I get checked out, they're like, "Oh, we don't see anything. You know, we just see you." And I'm like, "Well, what is it? You know, it's really." And I'm like totally scared because I don't want to like get immune to like Monistat or gynolotrin or any of those over-the-counter things. Then it won't work on me.
Well, is that what you've been using?
Yeah, and I use it for the 7 days, however long it says, and it's like still reoccurring.
So it's a decent amount of yeast. Like, if you hit yourself in the abdomen, the Pillsbury Doughboy would pop out of your crotch?
Not exactly, but it's like just the symptoms. It's really weird.
God.
Aromatherapy kind
It's too bad Drew isn't in the room.
Here
Hey,
Drew.
What's up?
Boy, I thought we had a Chips episode happening here.
Drew, we have a yeast question. The parties of the sheriff's back.
Hey.
Teresa wants to know about a reoccurring yeast infection.
Right. Are you sexually active?
Yeah.
Is the same guy?
It's not a guy.
And the same partner?
Yes.
And you guys, are you anything penetrating or anything of that sort?
Just fingers.
Okay.
So you're lesbian, Teresa?
Yes.
And how long have you been having these infections?
I'm sorry?
How long have you been having these infections?
Since before I had my sexual partner.
How long?
Couple years now.
Couple years. Do you on any medications?
No. I have asthma, but it's physically induced, so I only take it when, I need it.
What do you take?
Albuterol inhaler?
Do you ever use the steroid inhalers?
No.
You ever been on a steroid?
No, for a brief, for like a week.
Do you take antibiotics frequently for your virginity?
No.
And anything special with your diet?
No, I can eat just about anything.
Have you been checked for diabetes or any metabolic problems?
I haven't been diagnosed with anything.
Okay,
Not that I know of.
See how much fun we're having before Drew came in here?
So
you notice that?
You need to be. I know. I knew.
He said it. Party's over.
Yeah, party's over, guys.
It's like the PE coach and he makes you cough. You know?
So medication, anything that changes the environment in there, the bacterial makeup of the vaginal flora can cause yeast infection. Changes in your diet, blood sugar problems, thyroid problems.
Well, I try and eat lots of yogurt.
But look,
how long have you been a lesbian, Teresa?
I've been with my girlfriend for about 3 years now.
3 years?
Yeah.
She's 14?
14, yeah.
Is she hot?
Really.
That's gambling material?
Oh, sure.
You want to gamble?
Sure, why not?
All right, we're going to gamble on Teresa.
So let me close the yeast chapter here, and that is there's a medication called diflucan out there. A single dose, 150 milligrams, wipes out yeast. It's so effective that all this business about yeast taking over your body and all that business that was going around 5. You remember that?
No.
Canada.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I was confused though.
More baloney.
Too,
more BS for people to create press over, and it doesn't hurt. They can be eradicated easily. You may not have had sufficient or complete eradication of the yeast yet, and that might be part of the problem.
Was that a prescription?
Yeah.
Okay. Why can't you get that kind of stuff over the counter?
Because we live in America.
Okay. All right, you guys got any money? Where's my wallet? Everyone get $1 out. We're going to gamble on Teresa.
Okay.
She's been a lesbian and has had the same partner since she was 14. I don't quite know what that says, but it says something.
We're doing good. I'll put 2 out, too.
Bucket. Oh, no, we're just going a buck a piece. Please. Listen, we
had a good year.
We don't have
$2.
We don't have a platinum record here.
Oh, we do. So.
All right, you want to put $2 out? God bless you. I'm putting $1 out,
I'll
though.
put it all in because I'm going to eat it all anyway.
All right, so... Drew, would you like to go first? You got a feeling about this. I'm going to put pressure on the band.
Okay. Okay, hold on here. Abusive father.
Abusive father.
Yeah, and then absent. Like really abusive, like probably sexually inappropriate. Maybe not overt,
How can you be abusive and absent? Just come into town, beat the crap out of her daughter, and leave?
And then gone when she's like 4 or 5.
Okay, so that is her past. Mark, you want to venture a guess?
Doesn't know her dad. Mom's my best friend.
Mom's her best friend. All right. Well, that's absent dad, but we'll see about mom being best friend. Rodney?
Perhaps latchkey kid, neglected by mom, and no father.
Rodney's seen a lot of after-school specials.
Yeah.
Easy, Donahue.
All right. Craig?
I had an abusive boyfriend.
Ooh, early.
And, early on, and chose to go that way.
Okay.
Tell me
Who's got the dice?
I'm just going to go with excelled at softball at a real early age. No.
Bobby Sox.
I will go with abuse. Yeah, dad absent, sexual abuse by someone other than dad, like a neighbor, something like that, maybe a cousin, something like that.
Santa.
Right. Teresa?
Uh-huh.
All right, what is the story on your past?
Actually, Mark, Rodney, and Drew are almost correct. I think Mark was the closest. My dad's not around.
What's that?
My dad's not around. Mark was the closest.
And your mom's your best friend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, give me all the candy.
Any-
I don't mean to celebrate, but Teresa, if you give me your number, we can go out together.
Any sexual abuse?
Not that I can remember. I do remember being with my dad like once. I only remember one time.
Physical?
And he got really mad at me because I put my elbows on the table. But
I know that technique.
Any other thing than that, I haven't the slightest idea.
You mean you were physical with your dad once?
No.
No, you just saw your dad
And
once.
he was like, "Don't put your elbows on the table," and I was like, "Okay," and I was really scared ever since then. But nothing that I can remember.
No, he means like she was eating and she put her elbows on the table. He went, "Don't do that."
That's our
uncool.
That's our only
sort of protocol.
only memory of dad is.
I mean, other than
yeah, I
that,
think you
I
can.
have a picture of him, but
All right, so dad's out of the picture.
How old were you when he left?
oh wow, I think I was about 2.
And how old were you when you lost your virginity?
I was 15. I just turned 15.
Oh, okay. So you'd had your lesbian girlfriend for a year, and then you lost your virginity?
Yeah, we were friends. We had been friends, and she came out, and I came out, and we came out together.
Like
And
Valentine's,
together
or were you guys together? I mean, that's kind of weird.
Say again?
Yeah.
All right. So, but never any sexual abuse.
No, not that I've ever been told, not that I can ever recall.
Okay, and your mom's your best friend.
That's overrated too.
Well, yeah, for a while she wasn't. When I first came out, we weren't, but we're slowly but surely getting back there.
All right. She's well, we all were under the impression that Dad was not on the scene.
Yeah, But after Drew went first, we're all like sort of fell in line.
That's a very good point.
Thank you.
All right, it's he's easy to make fun of, but when he makes that guess,
we all adhere to it.
Right.
He is the guy who went to school.
All right, so Teresa, do you? I know you're not going to be able to answer this question, but do you feel in your heart of hearts that you're a lesbian, or do you feel that you're a lesbian that was sort of cajoled into becoming a lesbian because your dad was absent?
No, I don't really think so. I feel that I am. I've known something was different since I was about 7 or 8. I mean, I just knew that something was different. Not necessarily
you're treading
wrong,
on
but just different.
difficult when you ask that kind of question. It's
hard to answer.
Yeah.
I'm not
so
sure how do you know? Whatever.
So.
I mean, this is not confusion. This is a clear sexual orientation.
Right.
And how people get to that place, whether it's biological or environment, whatever, they're there. There's not much change in it.
Yeah. But
although women are more flexible and whatnot, but still, it's usually a fixed orientation, part of their person now.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is if someone was horribly abused by their dad, their grandpa, their uncle, and their brother, they would become lesbian because they hated men. And then maybe 5 years later, they get some counseling and whatnot, and they clear up a few issues they have with men and find out that they have an attraction to men again because they've cleared up this abuse issue.
It tends not to work like that, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
All right.
We have fragile minds dealing with like complicated situations. You know what I mean?
It's
I'm wrong. I think I'm correct.
It's amazing how one's sexuality is cast so early in one's life, and how it's sort of very delicately and precariously balanced.
Well, let me ask, like, what constitutes normal upbringing and like sort of like delving into a normal sex life? You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't we all have our own sort of weird criterion that we all sort of like process and then?
Time of the show. We will be back in a minuscule 10 seconds.
94.7 NRK.
An Entercom radio station.
KNRK. Chemist Portland. Tiger's New Rock Alternative.
It is Loveline. Adam Carolla, Dr. Drew. You know them as the band that sold many records a few years back, and now they're back with a vengeance. Garbage is in studio. Steve, 15, you're on Loveline.
Yeah, what's up?
Come on, Steve.
I want some of what you got.
Well, like I'm in treatment right now
For what?
for using marijuana, and I got out like a couple months ago.
So you're a marijuana addict.
Yeah.
Are you alcoholic also?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've been sober for 4 months.
Wow, well done.
But I'm still in aftercare, and I just recently started using again.
All right. Well, you got to talk to your team, talk to your peers, tell them what's happening.
Yeah, I know, but then I'll get locked up.
Will you, or do they have particular consequences for relapse?
Yeah.
Because, Steve, relapse can be part of the process of recovery many times. Most addicts, first time around, really still, in the back of their mind somewhere, believe that they can control their relationship with the substance. You know, they're not quite done yet, or, they all made sense to them, but they're a little different. And
Isn't 15 a little young for pot rehab?
Depends what the consequences have been. I mean, people get really carried on. A lot of things can happen very quickly with some of these drugs. But the point is that you left rehab still not completely convinced you're an addict, not completely convinced you couldn't control it. You tested it, and guess what? You found out you can't control it. You are an addict, lo and behold. And sometimes people have to go do that. Thank God you didn't just turn away from treatment and fall all the way down to the bottom again. You're struggling with this and recognize you need to get back on the horse, and tell your team. You've just got to tell the people that are treating you and your peers what has happened and get back involved in the process.
Because the consequences for not telling your team are going to be a lot worse than the consequences that are going to...
You're going to continue the slide, the progression that is this disease. And as Adam brought up, at 15, you've already come along quite a ways. And you could fall down pretty hard and get potential. I mean, it's a potentially fatal illness.
I mean, most people, I don't know what the average age for rehab is, and it probably varies from drug to drug.
It does vary.
But most people don't even take a stab at it until they're, well into their late 20s, early 30s oftentimes.
20s.
All right, Drew. Please, I was on a roll there, for Christ's sake.
My job.
What is your job here,
you
Drew?
up, mostly.
Right. All right. Now, quiet down. Most people don't get into rehab until they're in their 70s or 80s, is what I'm saying. And Steve has a nice head start. I think everyone should go to rehab at 14 no matter what. Even if they've never touched a drug, it's rehab time.
Time out.
Yeah.
Are you Catholic by any chance?
No. I'm
been talking to people on Loveline for too long.
Yes. I believe every male's genitalia should be collected at 14 and returned to them when they're 28.
I'll second that.
Everybody. Yes, I will make you keeper of the genitalia if you like.
I'd love that.
I'm going to seal the tops of the mason jars. They're in like a whiskey bottle, and I'm going to check and make sure nothing's broken. So I have the rehab at 14 and the genital collection at 14 as well. It would be utopia we lived in. Everyone would walk around sober with no penis.
Mature.
Just mindless drones off working for the better of the nation. Sally, 13, you're on Loveline with garbage.
Yeah, Butch, I just like to know...
Hold on a second, Sally.
Yeah?
Sally, I'm not Butch, I'm Steve. There's been a misconception here.
Yes.
Is that okay? Will you talk to me?
Sure.
Cool.
I was wondering, how did you guys meet, and how are you guys getting along and stuff? Because I mean,
Steve, what was it like?
Questions.
What was it like to produce the Nirvana record?
Because I mean, you guys Garbage is my favorite band.
Well,
it's my favorite song is I'm Only Happy When It Rains.
Well, cool. We like that one too. But we just worked at music for a really long time, and we were all in bands that didn't go anywhere. We played all over the place, and nobody liked us, and we kept at it. And, finally worked in the studio a lot, and just somehow made it work just because we kept at it.
Okay, can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
How did you, guys, touring, actually, it's Shirley Manson asked your question. How did you, guys, touring with Smashing Pumpkins?
It's amazing. I mean, we've been really lucky. They're an amazing band, and they've had a very difficult year, and they've overcome negative circumstance, and we feel very privileged to be on the tour, and the fans have been amazing, and Billy Corgan, contrary to popular belief, is an absolute sweetheart.
He's okay.
All right, Sally?
Yeah.
All right. When I was reading your bio, and we get a lot of bands in and a lot of, musicians, a lot of actors, comedians and everything, and I always read their bio, and it's always interesting to find out where everyone came from.
Get a life.
Believe me, I don't want to read the damn bio, but it's part of the 15 minutes I put into the job. And the thing that's, I don't know why, but I just found myself thinking about this tonight, although it's a real obvious thing, which is we have a lot of people calling in 14, 15, 17. They don't know where the hell their lives are going. They're flunking out of high school, or their parents are all over their ass, and they come in and they idolize Garbage or whoever it is we have on. Not as much as they idolize Garbage, of course, but they idolize the bands, and it would be their dream to be a celebrity or to be in a band or to be a musician or what have you. And I think they get the feeling that these people have just always been celebrities. That growing up in Edinburgh, Shirley was the belle of the ball, came from some rich family that had, gold records all over the walls, and everything was hunky-dory all the way through. And the reality is that people come from tough situations, sometimes substance abuse, sometimes abuse at home, oftentimes being outcast in high school or whatever, failing out and not having a lot of friends, and then they kick around and work hard for years and years and years to get where they are. And the message is for people that are listening, that are younger, that don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, is that's where everyone comes from. That's where all the people you're idolizing right now come from, except for David Hasselhoff, who does not come from that background at all.
Except him.
Yes. All right. True. It is, and I remember clearly, because I'm having a good time now, too, but it only started at about age 30, and life was just hell from for the 15 years between about 15 and 30.
It sure was.
And you know, it's now purgatory. But at least I'm not burning my ass off in hell. And I think a lot of people can't look down the road that far, and they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Drew's doing a lot of head nodding tonight. God, can you believe we get paid the same amount?
No.
He gets paid to nod his head on radio. This is the greatest gig in the world. All right. Damien, 25, you're on Loveline with Garbage.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. First, I want to say that I am a full supporter of Boothville.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
Viva la Boothville.
Card carrying.
Yes.
I wish I could say I could fit into a slot, but I'm just going to be a loyal supporter and hope you have room for me there.
There's always room for people that are loyal to the Boothville cause. And Garbage, you're probably not aware of this utopia I've created called Boothville, but I'm creating a place sort of like how Walt Disney had a dream about creating this environment. And I'm going to get some land in Plentywood, Montana, near the Canadian border. And I am going to break ground on a utopia for men who have been shunned by society because of their love of breasts, and we're going to start this new race of Boothville fans. It's hard to squeeze all into one sentence like I'm trying to do, but rest assured it will be a utopia, and you will be welcome there.
I wouldn't be able to fit in there.
No, well, you're all right. What do you got? Like a B cup?
I have no idea. What have you got?
I got like an A jock.
Doesn't look like it to me.
All right, I'll show you during the break. But the point is that you guys can certainly play there.
I say come one, come all, and value the freedom to worship.
Thank you, Damien.
Yeah, you bet.
Chrissy, 27, you're on Loveline with Garbage.
Hi, Drew. Hi, Adam. Hi, Garbage.
Chrissy.
I'm calling because I have a bit of an obstacle, and it kind of seems trivial in a way, and it seems like I might be able to fix it, but it seems to be ongoing and repeating itself over and over. And what it is that I'm a college student, and my husband works in the field, and he has a pretty good job, and we each are dealing with respect issues. He doesn't respect me for what I do, but I respect him. And he basically calls me a slob and a pig and says that I can't do my chores at home, that everything else is more important.
He works in the field.
Yeah. Well, not in the field, but, he has a job.
So you both have jobs, but he expects you to keep house?
I'm a college
She's a student.
Yeah, but I do work. I work at school.
Right.
It's a big job.
So you're both equally busy?
I would think so.
And he says the burden of keeping the house tidy should fall squarely on your shoulders.
Yeah.
All right.
And I admit the house is not exactly...
Shouldn't she kill him first and then leave him, Shirley?
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
The thing is that, I don't appreciate it. It's like a disrespect thing for me, because...
All right, Chrissy, where is he?
He's in bed.
All right, get him up. I want to talk to him.
But see, he was in bed because he didn't want to talk about it. We just had the fight.
Well, he didn't want to talk to you about it, but I'm sure he wanted to talk to me, Drew, and Garbage.
Does he expect me that I listen to talk radio either?
Well, does
he knows you and he likes you, Adam.
All right, wait a minute. I'm changing my whole outlook on this guy. All right, so obviously he's a man of discerning taste and intellect.
He's grumpy.
Oh.
But
well, maybe Adam can connect with him some way.
If he likes me, I want to talk to him.
He likes you a lot.
If he likes Adam,
for you and Boothville and the whole thing.
All right,
we've got a real problem with this
This
guy.
is huge. All right, Chrissy,
Yeah.
here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to put you on hold.
All right.
You're going to get him out of bed.
I'm going to try.
Hey, tell him it's Adam calling. All right? I want to talk to him about this relationship.
All right. It's
All right.
marriage.
All right, the marriage. Touring just sounds like hell.
Yeah. Touring's great. What are you talking about?
All right, but
It's awesome.
getting out on stage is great, but going from town to town in a bus and that whole...
You love that too.
That's
you do.
lo-fi.
It's a lo-fi?
Getting on the bus and touring is lo-fi. Getting in front of the fans is cool. That's about the only thing that keeps us going.
Right.
The bus thing is hell.
And all the publicity and all the talking to stupid jocks like me and all that kind of stuff.
You're a smart jock.
Ah.
But a big pan, excuse me.
With beautiful breasts, if I may say so.
Thank you. I'm now lactating and ruining a good shirt.
What cup size are you?
I wear a size cup, a jock, I guess. Actually, I did wear a cup when I used to play football, and it was always had to have one custom made. They'd actually just take one and split it down the middle and make two out of it. All right, when we left off, we were speaking to Chrissy. Chrissy's husband is giving her the shiv, basically, because to hear Chrissy say it, they both work equally as hard. And then he comes home and expects her to act like a housewife, but in reality, she's going to school and she's working, which is going to school and working in my book. Chrissy.
Hello?
Where is he?
He was very rude and said he wouldn't talk, but
Just basically, she didn't ask him.
Huh?
You didn't ask him, did you?
I begged him
Did you?
at least 6 times. See, that's the way it is. I'm always working, overtime, trying to, get him to...
Go upstairs, pack a suitcase, leave the house, go stay with a friend. Tomorrow you'll talk.
Right.
If he doesn't want to talk, leave him.
Right, that's why I'm calling, is because it seems like a big obstacle in the long run for me to why do I have to demand respect? I mean, I feel like...
Never demand respect.
Yeah, we need to know more about what's going on with him. I mean, is it that he's threatened by the fact that you're a student and maybe excelling, and maybe she's afraid he's going to lose you because of that? Is it the fact that he feels you're not keeping up with his expectation of what a wife is supposed to do? Is it the fact that that maybe you are able to do more than you're doing, and he's just pulling your chain about it? I don't know. We need to hear his perspective.
But so we do not know the particulars. We only know your side of the story. But what we do know is you have to be able to talk about it. Everybody owes their partner that courtesy.
And I'm a little concerned about your consistent people-pleasing posture. You're always trying to make him happy, and he's never he can never please him.
Well, see, that's the thing too, though, Drew. I mean, yeah, I want to make him happy, but I realize that I can only do so much, and so I mean, the house is kind of lived in, but it's not filthy dirty, and so I think it's kind of a personal attack to call me a pig and a slob.
Can you guys? If it's not possible for you guys to sort of keep up with your household demands, can you pool your resources and get a housekeeper in there once a week or something? I mean, there should be compromises you could reach to if that is the issue.
Right.
But I suspect that's not the issue. There's something else going on here, and that's why we wanted to talk to him. And you got to find out what else is troubling him, if he's willing or able to sort of access those feelings and tell you about them.
Well, what if he's not willing to access
All right, then you got
a big problem.
All right, you need to cut him off sexually, and you need to go into Plan B, which is go upstairs and start packing. Even if you don't have an upstairs, I want you to go upstairs, even if it's into the attic or the neighbor's apartment.
If though he is afraid that he's losing you by virtue of you sort of excelling beyond him.
That's what I'm getting.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I think it is. If you start threatening him with abandonment, really is how he's going to perceive it, he's going to get very defensive.
Well,
and then it's going to be real hard to talk to him
I think, though, that the important thing is about her development. If somebody is frightened of your development, then he's not the right person for you.
Right. But he needs an opportunity to, maybe he's not aware of that's what's driving his feelings. He has an opportunity to correct them, but if he can't, you're right.
All right, and at least communicate.
Yeah.
That's all. People have grievances.
That's the main thing.
That is the backbone of every good relationship, is arguing all the time, but at least you have a dialogue. Coming up on the Best of Loveline, actress, comedian, all-around nutty girl, Kathy Griffin. We continue on with the Best of Loveline. Adam Carolla over here, Dr. Drew over there. Our next guest is someone I have known for over 10 years, and it is nice to see her do so well. You know her from Suddenly Susan. Kathy Griffin is with us.
Can I just interject one thing?
Yes.
I met Ice-T recently, and he told me that he's still an active pimp. He said he still has his hose. I find him to be very sexist. And I wonder, but the part that fascinates me is he's not making enough with the movies and the records. He's got to still pimp on the side.
Was he talking
to you?
Huggy
Bear from Starsky and Hutch?
Was he wearing a big fedora with a feather sticking out of it?
Well, he's no stranger to a chapeau.
And was he recruiting you as one of his new bitches?
He was really, actually, I was there with him and Heidi Fleiss. It's a long story. But we all run the same circles. And he said, you go, girl, to Heidi in the vernacular. And then he said that he still pimps and he still has his hose.
Do not alienate the guests, please, Kathy.
I wonder, what his, what kind of a nut he has per month with the hose as opposed to the record deals and the film.
Well, it's like we were talking about with Drew during the commercial break. You were asking Drew what he did all day with the triplets and everything, and he's a doctor. And you said, why? Why do you go to work each day? You have this show at night. You could cover the bills just from your radio career. Why do the work? And Drew said, it's what I do. It's what I am.
But he's not pimping the hose.
Right, but I'm saying maybe pimping the hose is what Ice-T does. and the whole record thing could just be a hobby.
Oh, good God. And his dream is to become the best damn pimp this
All right, he
country's
didn't
ever
really
seen.
say that to you.
You ask him.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Say, when you were on Saturday Night Special,
Mm-hmm.
didn't you talk to a few people about how you were still an active pimp? And then talk to Heidi Fleiss about how the two of you had that vocation in common?
All right, I just don't want to get my ass kicked by any posse or anything, so I'm going to mind my P's and Q's. But we'll replay him this. Engineer Mike, have this ready on some sort of card or something for when Ice-T comes in. The lovely and handsome Ice-T, the attractive ebony singer-songwriter Ice-T. There, so now I'm covered. And Kathy.
Yeah.
Did you ever have anything for me, you know? I mean, in the
harbored fantasies.
The recesses of your mind?
Not even the more forefront.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like when you first saw me. I mean, I guess we probably met maybe 10 years ago.
I got moist.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't puke.
Rhonda, 27.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm calling from Portland, Oregon.
All righty.
And I am about 7 weeks pregnant. And, well, I'm doing fine with the pregnancy. That's not the problem. It's the guy who got me pregnant, kind of 50-50 in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 26 on the 11th, and...
What was that?
She's
Did you say
misinformation.
You'll be 26?
He'll be 26.
Right. You're
Okay.
27, he's 26.
Yeah, and he doesn't want the responsibility, you know. I told him, well, okay, fine, I could be a single mom and stuff.
Is this your boyfriend, by the way?
No, we were lovers.
Uh-huh.
Just friends, kind of friends, lovers, kind of.
This is, again, my suspicion is Rondo preferred him as the boyfriend, and he just wasn't willing to be a boyfriend.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, it's...
But
Oh,
you're
again,
God, life is so
you know,
brutal.
again, if women just stand up for what they need in relationships, this kind of stuff wouldn't happen.
The world would be a utopia.
Yeah, but men going to run away anyway.
Right. I would kill myself, but the world would be utopia.
Well, again, it's like
Again, the world
utopia,
would be
utopia. Right.
Thank you. Win-win. Thank you, Dr. Drew. You'd be here with some stupid sap all night, making an ass out of everybody, including you.
What time is he coming
you
in?
fool. Mark
July
DiCarlo. Oh, for Christ's sake.
But he wants to be there for the birth, but didn't want responsibility. That's a weird thing. And
You know what? I think this guy ought to be the father or not the father. It's going to be terribly confusing to your child if he's uncle or a friend.
Take child support and kick him to the curb. Haven't you ever seen Ricky Lake?
I would like him to be part of this, you know. I mean, it is his kid, so.
I know, but you can't let him. He's teaching such passivity, and you don't want him to pass that on as listen to the kid, and you don't want him to treat his child as poorly as he treats you. And I don't mean to diss you, but
Better no influence than a bad influence.
Think how the child's going to feel with this guy that kind of is around when it suits him.
yeah, I kind
That
of love
child
you,
is
but
gonna
you
feel-
can't do that to kids.
Right,
You
that
have to love
child
them unconditionally.
Is going to feel
You know,
abandoned.
I did kind of wonder because I am from LA, and it's like, and people are different, and it's like, he's white, I'm black, and I wonder if that's probably an issue, but he told me it's not, so he just told me financially it's an issue.
Well, how long have you guys been like friends / lovers?
A month and a half.
Oh my gosh, that's tough to tell. It's hard to tell after a month and a half.
But Rhonda.
Yes.
They're, I mean, you hate to...
Don't white guys suck, though? Seriously.
all white men. Put a curse
I'm just
on all
saying.
white men.
No,
except for me and Mark DiCarlo.
They're good in bed, though.
White guys are good in bed? Wait a minute. Hold on. Stop the presses.
Oh, depends you could get. I'm very...
Really? Why is a white man better in bed than a black
I
man?
haven't messed with a black guy in years.
Yeah. Tell me about it, sister.
You haven't either, huh?
I miss
Do you
him,
miss
though.
him?
Oh,
I
yeah.
know, Tiger.
Oh, I just felt one. Rhonda.
Yes.
What, is there a white guy like a little more attentive? They know they have to work harder.
There's one thing a black guy won't do that a white guy will.
Right. Believe
the
me.
closer.
Believe
Gotcha.
me, I played football with a lot of big black guys, and when I was in junior college, and one time one of them came up to me, and I was talking to him about this issue, and he goes, I don't eat nothing that gets up and walks away when I'm done.
Well, then I'd get up and walk away. I hate selfish guys in bed. You stay with those nice giving white guys, or find a nice giving black guy.
Let me tell you about the white man sexually. It's these guys, it's like the white guys in the NBA. They're slow, they're short, they can't jump, they got to work extra hard.
No, but not everyone created equal, though.
All right. It's a beautiful world. You're right. You just can't find a dad. Now listen, Rhonda.
Yes.
here's the deal. You have this little bundle of love here. That is your priority.
Yeah.
You hope and you wish that the guy would take some responsibility, but it doesn't sound like he's gonna, and I agree with Kathy and the doctor when I say that this guy is irresponsible. He's going to be a crappy influence on your child.
And you'll probably be a really good influence.
Right, make sure you're healthy.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting checked out and everything goes as planned. Look to him for financial support, but then basically take care of your child and find yourself a nice white guy to come in and take care of the kid later on.
Okay.
All right, Rhonda?
All right.
And pay that phone bill.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I
Wow.
loved her.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what's
She
weird?
seemed so nice.
She really was.
Why do guys suck?
I really am conceptualizing this sort of in a new agenda.
White guys, by the way. The black man does
Why
not
do white
suck.
guys suck?
It's not so much
I'm going
they suck.
Asian all the way.
Is that the society right now endorses their BS? You know, it tells them that you can be bad to people, and that's just the way it is, and it's okay.
Well, did you hear what Rhonda said, sort of under her breath? You said, why don't women stick up for their needs? And she goes, oh, they go away anyway. And I kind of feel that, you know. I mean, it's a bummer, but I think you can do all the right things as a woman and hold out and set boundaries and stuff, and somebody still could so easily
That's the guy you
screw you over.
But that's the guy you want. She didn't say it. That's the guy you want to leave you.
Oh, I know, but when it happens over and over, it's tough. And look at her now; she's having a kid with one.
But if more women stood up like that, guys would be more apt to accept that as the norm.
But why don't men initiate moral behavior? Why don't they just have more of a moral
Oh,
code?
let's ask Mr. Al, for Christ's sake. Let's take some phone calls. And let me just say, we have over here Dr. Drew.
Who's a honey?
And look at him. I mean, he's a
Adorable.
good-looking guy.
A good-looking hunk of guy.
You ought to see him with his pants down.
Adam,
Really?
when did you see that?
I went over his house for dinner. I had to use the
One thing
bathroom.
led to another.
We had a few drinks. It got out of hand.
Cuddling, and then you
Listen.
were sorry.
We're not ashamed, but yet we're not prepared to talk about it yet. Couple months, Drew will come around.
You know that my kids are wearing clothes all the time now. I almost brought one up tonight, too.
Really?
I thought I spared you that.
One of the kids?
Yeah, he had a big nap today, and we're probably still awake.
Well, I had a big nap. We could talk about napping. We could talk about napping and drooling. We have things in common. And soft food.
His language skills are right about where yours are, too.
You do take naps.
I
and
nap
then you
all day.
apologize for
Oh, we were talking
Remember
about
we
this?
talked on the phone?
Yeah.
I'm like, Adam, hi, and you go, hi, I just took a nap.
He
I'm
apologizes
sorry.
to you for naps?
I mean, because I was up late, because I...
people call, I'll tell you why. Because Kathy called me at like 2:30 in the afternoon. I was like, hello? Who is this, Mom?
When I call you, it's like he either hangs back up or it starts cussing at me. Because I interrupted a nap.
Well, Kathy is a woman, and she's like a mover and a shaker, and she's this old groundling friend, and I feel like I should be
I got
doing
my hose
something
that
when
I'm
I talk
pimping.
to her. Right. All right. Dean, 26, you're on Loveline.
Hey guys, I got a problem.
All right.
Well, my wife left me a year ago yesterday, and
what happened?
Oh, let's not get into that. But over the past year, I felt myself hating women more and more, and I think I'm becoming a misogynist, and it really sucks.
Well, we had to set you up with Kathy. She hates men.
I know, God.
What happened? What happened? There's no way we can understand what's happening now without understanding what happened to you.
Splitsville.
What happened?
So she
Just took
totally
off.
just left.
Yeah, just woke up one morning, goodbye.
For another guy or just for another life?
But I think so. I don't really care. Once she left, what am I going to do? Investigate and stalk her? I mean, I couldn't care. Once you leave, you're gone. You know.
Do you guys have kids?
No. Luckily, I don't.
That's cool. Lucky.
I understand. What was going on in your relationship? What was the nature of things? I mean, you guys spent a lot of time together. Things seem okay.
Yeah, I was in and out of work, all that other BS.
All right, so there were problems in the relationship. She
Yeah,
didn't
definitely.
She didn't just wake up.
Definite communication breakdown.
All right, she didn't just wake up and decide, I'm going to be a terrible person to my husband and really break him
obviously.
up.
Well, I'm perplexed because Dean seems like such a joy to be around.
Oh, yeah, I'm a barrel of monkeys.
Now, how long were you guys married?
We're 4 years.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
Now, Dean, can I tell you something from a woman's point of view?
I would love that, yeah.
Okay, but I'm not going to be a...
No, give it to me. No,
Okay.
straight. I'm not joking around. I'm not joking around.
No,
I'm
but
serious.
most of the women I know that would, do that, or when I talk to my girlfriends about problems, usually it's the listening issue. So I wonder if you were a very good listener with her, or maybe have you thought about that? Because I would say that's the number one reason women leave or cheat or whatever. It's not so much for the sex, but someone to really talk to.
There was two things, okay? I wouldn't listen and she wouldn't talk.
Oh.
All right. Well, that sounds like Jack Crack and his wife. That sounds like a match made in heaven. And let me just give you a quick note on listening, guys. After you're done listening or pretending to listen, you got to say something that was involved with what she was saying to you. Like you have to repeat something.
You know, and this really
because then they'll know.
This really sucks because I find myself, you know, like actually, you know, I mean, don't hate me for this, women, okay? But you know, I find myself looking at women as only good for one thing, and it really sucks because you know I'm nowhere near bi or gay, and now I'm going to end up dying alone because I can't even stand being around women nowadays.
Really? Now, what about? Do you have any cool girlfriends?
Well, my best friend is a woman, but there's no sexual nothing going on there.
But at least she's a good sort of, you know, example of a woman.
Well, she's like a guy without a penis.
Dean, what do you mean you're going to die alone?
Hey, wait a minute. That's the best of all worlds. Guy without a penis. I'd like to find me a guy without a penis.
What do you mean? What do you mean I'm going to die alone? If I can't respect women or like them, how am I going to be around them long enough to actually listen to them or actually get in a relationship when, you know, I'm not going to put myself in the position where I'm going to get hurt again?
Dean, let me ask you a question. You have a dog?
No.
Oh, are you going to make that puppy analogy again?
No, I'm moving on to another kennel-related analogy. Did you ever have a dog?
Did you go to the pound today or something?
Yeah, I had a dog once, yeah.
All right. You like that dog? You love that dog?
Oh, he was cool until he got smashed by the GMC.
All right. Boys, life's one big disaster after another for poor Dean. You're cursed, Dean. That's your problem. All right. You love that dog, right? That was a good dog.
Right.
But there's other dogs in the neighborhood that you wouldn't pet because they bite you.
I'm sorry. I am sorry.
Please, I'm not
if
done
you
with-
are going to liken women to dogs, I'm going to have to take
All
an
right.
issue with that.
All right. Did you ever have a bitch?
Oh, my God. Adam.
No, please.
Dean, ignore him.
What I'm
Bad
saying
man.
is, here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're not all the same.
No.
They're good ones, there's bad ones. Just like there's good white people and good black people and good men and good and bad men and you know
listen to this.
that's all this. Dean, please. Please, this is pathetic.
I used to actually like have women friends and actually used to respect their issues and positions. And you know, nowadays, like I start feeling more and more like I have a buddy. He's a total, male chauvinist, and he tells me, you know, women shouldn't even be allowed to drive. And you know, I drive for a living, and just the other day I said to myself, you know what? They're right. Take all their licenses away. I mean, I sound like a total pig, and it sucks, but it's what I feel. And I don't know.
Dean, I am always cut off by a man. Oh, don't you? Oh, me.
I've always got a woman doing her lipstick in the mirror at 7:30.
All right, but Dean,
That happens to be important, especially the liner.
the truth of the matter is even though women can't drive, their insurance rates are much cheaper than guys, and that's for some reason, and that's because they get into less accidents
Under
and have less
25?
tickets and stuff like that. I'm defending women in my own ass backwards kind of way.
Oh, I guess I'll go sleep tonight at a kennel.
No, I'm saying women's insurance are like half the price of guys' automotive insurance because
Until
they
the age
don't
of 25.
They don't get in as many accidents
Exactly.
and they don't.
So how is that
They
different?
don't. They don't drag race as much. Please, I'm on your side here. I'm practically
I want
sprouting
Dean to
ovaries
get
as we speak.
have nice women around him. Maybe because you're so angry, you're sort of inadvertently seeking out like lame women.
Well, the only women who are nice to me are the ones on my videotapes.
All right, Dean is pathetic.
Oh, Dean.
Dean is.
That's a
Dean,
one-way ticket nowhere.
Dean, you're very, very bitter. You have to drop the whole bitter thing because that's a huge turnoff, isn't it, Kathy?
The videos alone is a big turnoff.
Serious?
Yes, serious.
Adam, I don't care for
the
wait a minute,
videos
Kathy.
in the porn. What?
Adam described you as his good friend. Have you spoken to him more than about 5 minutes
Oh God, are
in
you
the
into
last 10
porno
years?
now?
First off,
Why
good
are you
friend is just one of those
hesitating?
radio titles. No, I'm not actually producing pornos. I happen to have.
Producing it to be.
He has an airplane hangar where he stores them.
It's a blimp hanger.
Oh my God, you're objectifying women.
I guess
First
I
of all,
am.
I'm gonna.
I'm
you
not
gotta
doing
become
it.
a member of Now and do something feministic. You pig.
No, seriously, you like watching a porn with a guy.
No, I don't.
Come on.
I don't.
What's wrong with that?
I just think it's such. I just think it's so unsexy to me to watch porno, and guys that are into porno, that is so telling
All right.
of their low character.
Kathy?
Yes?
Just let me just say something. Don't ever drop by. Always call. Give me even if from a phone booth. I'm gonna
Oh
need
my God! I can barely open the door because I get the stacks of pornos.
I have to drive a Zamboni through my living room to clean all the porn.
Just mio.
Like the Cat in the Hat.
Oh, Kathy,
Why don't you just rent Untamed Heart or Bed of Roses?
I can't.
Those are good pictures.
Because
Or
people
Little
are
Women, the remake or the
caressing
original.
and they're kissing. You know, the one part of pornography that actually disturbs me is the kissing part.
Oh, you are like the whore in Pretty Woman.
I can't watch that. I got to fast forward through the kissing part.
Oh, God, issues. Oh, Dr.
I can't believe you feel this way about pornography.
I can't believe he
I
can't believe he described you as good friend, or that you guys had any kind of relationship.
I don't even like her.
Look what you're, Kathy, look what you're attracted to. You were attracted to this guy when you first met him. Look what's behind all that.
I know. I picked bad men.
Yeah, well, I wasn't into porn back then anyway.
What? Now you're in porns? You're in them?
I got a few projects
How do
coming
they
up.
pay?
I can't talk about it right now.
Can I get overscale?
Coming up on the Best of Loveline, Ice-T. Best on the Best of Loveline's music bears no resemblance to the horn-driving sound that you hear behind me. He is Ice-T. Wiley.
Hey, what's going on?
21, you're on Loveline.
Yeah, what's going on? I got a problem at work. Ice-T, I just want to give a shout-out. You know, your bomb. Everybody at George Mason, listen and everything. I got a problem at work. I got a manager. He hired me. He's very suggestive towards me, like homosexual, like that he wants to date me. He wants to take me out. He's asked me over at his apartment.
Okay,
He's
so
bought me food at the restaurant.
This is sexual harassment.
Yeah.
If he doesn't stop when you say no.
I'm not sure if it's sexual harassment, but it's just like flirting. I mean, it's kind of like a mix in between.
Did you tell him no?
No, I haven't told him no because I've had like not interest, but I've had like I get free stuff out of it. And I want to I kind of want to push it. You know, I want to push it till the end. You know, I want to like say like he gives me like free dinners and stuff.
Let me tell you who's going to be pushing what to the end. He's going to be doing some end pushing, Wiley. Believe you me.
Hey, Adam, it's not like that.
It ain't yet, but it's going to be by this weekend.
Can I tell you, no.
What do you think this guy likes to do? Just spend money on Chinese food and court guys? He wants some.
It's at a rib joint. It's at a rib joint. I don't even like ribs. Okay, this is the deal though. Okay, like
you like something.
when I tell, like, I give him like.
You like kielbasa?
No, it's
all right.
Not like kielbasa.
You better get used to it.
No, it's like at the end. And like lately, it's been like since he's getting a vibe from me that I'm not into that stuff. You know, I mean, I like my women. I like looking at girls and stuff, but I'm not into that guy stuff. You know, and he's like, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, look, okay. I don't tell him, but I give him the feel like it's not. I'm not into that stuff, and I'm telling him, and he's getting a vibe.
Dude, let me explain something to you, right? I mean, if a guy is hitting on you and you know it, usually you kind of let him know it's not cool, like right off the top. You don't keep letting him do it for a rib dinner.
No. No. It's not like that. I mean, he just kind of gives it to me. I don't take it as like a piece of him. I say, like, oh, that's cool. Thanks a lot, you know. And then he takes me back into his office and everything. He's telling me, you know, I don't want you to have the like the idea that I want to sleep with you and everything. But now I get like, I'm confused because I have like the cooks in the back. I have the wait staff saying like, oh, he's my boyfriend. But I know they're kidding around.
Let me tell you a story, right? I'm not going to mention any names, but when I got signed to a record label one time.
Okay.
And the guy that signed me said, you got these incredible eyes, right? And right off of the bat, I just let him, you know, from that point on, it was like, okay, dude, that's really cool, and I don't get down like that, and, you know, if we're going to do this deal, that's cool, but, you know, I'm straight at 6 o'clock, partner. It's not, don't do that. Or I'm not going to want to be down with this, you know?
Right.
But
you're sending the guy a mixed message.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And here's the deal.
I'm not giving the guy mixed messages because when I go to like I'm a waiter, and when I go to a table, I'm like, oh man, you ought to check these girls out at this table.
All right, but listen. He wouldn't keep going if he didn't think there was going to be a payday.
Oh, Adam, let me tell you the second part of the story, okay? Like now he's giving me all this attitude and stuff because I'm not into that stuff. I'm not into that. But yet, like, behind the scenes, like, when we're in his office and everything, he's, like giving me all these, like...
Well, that's why the doc said it could be sexual harassment, because if you have to go his way in order to get treated correctly, he can't get down like that.
Oh, no, but I don't treat him correctly. I don't even let him treat me correctly. I don't know if I should... Like, he's not even our boss at work or anything. I don't know if I should go to, like, the higher management or if I should write a letter.
Yes, go to the higher management.
But
go to your personnel office, human resource people.
Right.
There are laws against this.
Can that risk like some sort of like job jeopardy or something?
Hold on.
If no rib dinners, you can run out of them.
No, I don't care about the rib dinners.
These days, I don't know what the company is, but these days the companies have a far greater liability then you have potential of losing your job.
Yes.
No, but I mean, the money's really good. I'm a college student. I got
Here's our advice to you. Here's our advice. Very simple. Be very clear to him. Very clear. No mixed messages. Don't accept gifts. Be real clear, real professional with him. Tell your superiors, tell your personnel office, report it, make it clear what's happening, and leave it be.
Yes, a good.
That's the same thing you'd have to do with a female-male situation. If the boss is hitting, it's like you have to be clear, because like guys don't know. It's like, if I'm flirting with a girl that works for me, if she's laughing and giggling, I think it's cool. She says, please stop that. Don't do that to me.
Right. It looks at you seriously.
I don't dig it. You got to be dead serious.
Right.
Then if I continue, now I'm out of bounds. But, you can't just play along with nothing.
Yeah, and plus, listen, and why is everyone with the worst jobs worrying about losing them so much? You work at a freaking rib joint. Big deal. So you go across the street to the Colonel. I mean, come on. You're slinging hash at a rib joint. How good a career is that?
That's not
so
where
you're
he
a college
works.
student.
That's not where he works.
He works at a rib. Said he works at a rib place.
He's a waiter. He's
a waiter at a rib place.
Oh, maybe
he's going to get a slab in his ass if he doesn't.
Well,
he doesn't watch himself.
He said something kind of peculiar, like, I like my girls. I'm not into the guy stuff. That's not really as hard as some guys would. I mean, didn't sound too definite,
Yeah, let me tell you this.
And I like my girls. I'm not into,
I don't know.
I ain't with men.
Let me tell you, maybe you can help me since you're the street philosopher. Gay men, and I have some gay friends, and I ask them, how do you know when a guy is gay? And they go, don't worry, we know. Because I say to them, you don't want to waste your time hitting on straight guys.
True.
You're never going to get any, right? They say, don't worry, I know. So when a gay man sets his sights on another guy and he keeps going, to me, sometimes I think maybe this guy's spidey sense is tingling. Maybe he knows a little more about the person than maybe even the person knows about themselves.
That's true. That happens in prison, too.
No kidding. Drea. All right. 19.
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
I have a question for the doctor, and it's a technical, or it's a really weird situation, and if anybody else can give me advice on what I...
All right, go right to it.
Okay. November 1st, I had an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And my boyfriend and I decided this because we essentially felt we couldn't provide for the child. He is 28 and I'm 19. We both have full-time jobs.
How far into the pregnancy were you?
9 weeks.
Okay.
And the problem that I'm having and have been having since is we found out and then did the abortion a week after we found out. And I wasn't entirely resolved to the decision. I wasn't entirely comfortable with it.
So you were pregnant for 2 months without knowing it?
Yeah.
That's not uncommon.
It isn't?
No.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. If you get pregnant at the beginning of your cycle, you miss a period.
Yeah.
And then you spend 2 weeks going, gee, should we check it out? Now you're 6, 7 weeks pregnant.
Yeah, but I cycle so regularly, Drew, that I would know. All right.
And ever since then, I have a lot of young children and babies in my family. I'm in my stepsister's 32, and she has a 2-year-old son, and she's pregnant again. She would have been due at the same time I would have been due. And it's like I'm really attached to babies and the idea of having a child, and I'm depressed.
Sure. Sure. I mean, look, unfortunately, our culture doesn't talk about or recognize or educate young women on the impact of having an abortion. I've yet to meet a woman, it's very unusual to meet a woman who is not affected by an abortion. Not only are there psychological issues, symbolic issues of what you might have done, what the sort of philosophical implications are, but there are biological issues here. I mean, there is a tremendous biological attachment between mother and child, and there are tremendous biological changes that occur from pregnancy. Even if the pregnancy is terminated, there's still these huge biological hormonal shifts that occur that when the pregnancy is terminated can bring on depression, right?
Right.
So it would be expected you'd have depression. Now, some women can have profound depression. Usually that is more the result of the biology than the psychological or philosophical issues.
Meaning your body thinks it's pregnant, your body goes
Your body
into
is pregnant, and then it's gone, and it's over. And the same thing could happen. And the same thing could happen, by the way, with delivery. I mean, postpartum depression is a very common kind of depression. These are caused by these huge biological hormonal shifts that occurred for women.
And I also read in a book about pregnancy that postpartum depression can last up to the first year.
It can. Well, I'm not sure what the exact technical definition requires, but I think any time in the first year after pregnancy, if you have a major depressive episode, it can be considered postpartum depression.
So, I mean, is what I'm going through, could that be considered postpartum depression?
At least partially. That's my point.
Okay.
That you at least 3 or 4 issues here, and some of it is biological, i.e. postpartum depression.
Yeah.
And I think you might want to pursue some treatment for it, because postpartum depression can become terribly intense. Some of the most profound depressions I've seen have been postpartum depressions.
Okay. Anthony.
Yeah, hi.
22, you're on Loveline with Ice-T.
Hi, I see. What was it like to work with Jill Biafra on the freedom of speech and how that all came about together?
What had happened was, I've been like off into different punk groups and stuff, especially, Dead Kennedys and all the stuff he had been doing with Alternative Tentacles. And I had heard these spoken word records by Jello Biafra. So I was talking to the guy who was running my label at the time, and I told him, I said, I wish I could get a hold of this guy. And he said, I know Jello. And basically we hooked up, and he was really cool. I mean, I guess you know a lot about him, but the guy knows all kinds of secret stuff about the world and stuff. And we just hit it off, and he put it on the album. And ever since then, he's come to every one of my shows where I've been up in the Bay Area. It's real deep dude.
What is he doing? Because he was the lead singer, I guess, of the Dead Kennedys, and he was around because there was some lawsuits and stuff like that, and he was a real sort of rebel.
Yeah.
For mostly, I guess, in the late 70s, early 80s, but I haven't really heard that much from him lately.
He's got a label up north called Alternative Tentacles, and they put out Lard and Tumor Circus and No Means No and all these punk different kinds of ill bands.
So he's kind of going behind the scenes and doing that.
Yeah, he's singing in them. He's buck wild, man. Jello Biafra is outrageous. But he's the man, he'll sit up and tell you stuff like, did you know the jeans you're wearing are connected to Christian fundamentalist groups that are,
He's like, hey, Jello, I'm trying to get stoned and you're bumming me out, man.
Yeah.
Let's just watch more Dukes of Hazzard
But
and
he
mellow
knows what
out.
he means. He knows what he's talking about.
I know, I know these guys are brilliant, but it's like your head explodes every time they open their mouth.
Right.
I like just looking at breasts and watching the TNT channel there, a little Dukes of Hazzard and some Love Boat, calling it a night. Drew, I don't want to sound like a fool of myself, but I think that's the best show we've ever done.
Quality.
Certainly, and you can't put a price on that kind of quality. So before we go, I want to give some thanks to those who deserve it. The fabulous phone screener Lisa, phone screener Sherry for doing a wonderful job, the Angular One producer Ann, as always, for putting her feminine stink all over the show, and engineer Mike, whose hair is growing back quite nicely, by the way, for working his magic behind the console. So, until next time, this is Ace Rockola for Dr. Drew saying mahalo.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed herein are not necessarily those of the staff or management or producers or directors or the advertising or anyone, but they might be Bob's.
I'm Bob, and they're mine.
The producer of Loveline is Ann Wilkins. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.
Grr, arg. We now return you to your highly tested, regularly scheduled programming. Bye.